The real reason is that it would show how Starmer repeatedly ignored the pleas of vast numbers of little girls and their parents in order to secure political support. Starmer is utterly despicable. This is what Elon Musk said in his recent tweet, and indirectly told Britain's Prime Minister to resign, live public and with receipts. The richest man on earth is openly trying to push Keir Starmer out of office, and he's not doing it through politics. He's doing it through exposure. Every tweet, every leaked file, every headline now points back to Musk's feed. And what triggered this global storm wasn't a business deal or a trade fight. It started with one tragedy that Britain tried to bury, and the internet refused to forget. July 29th, 2024, the day everything in Britain broke. 3 little girls, BB King, Elsie Dome, and Asta Silva, murdered in Southport. The country went silent for about 10 seconds before the noise started. News alerts, social media, everyone grieving, then angry, then confused. Within hours, misinformation started flooding every feed, and instead of fixing it, the government went for the one option guaranteed to make it worse. They started arresting people. Not rioters, not looters, just ordinary citizens sitting behind their phones. 400 arrests in weeks, 30 people a day taken for posts, memes or comments. You'd think the police were fighting terrorists, but no, they were scrolling Facebook. There's Bernice Borth, 55 years old, Cheshire. Police raid her home because she shared a post already seen by half the internet. She wasn't calling for violence, just sharing what she saw. She's now facing jail. Then there's Peter Lynch, 61, a grandfather. Attended a protest, didn't throw a rock, didn't even chant. He's arrested anyway. The government calls it public safety. He dies in custody days later. That moment changes everything. It's not about one tragedy anymore, it's about power. The government just proved it can punish grief if it goes viral. When speech becomes illegal and fear becomes policy, people start looking for someone who won't whisper. And that's when Elon Musk walks in. He doesn't start with a press conference or diplomatic statement, he posts. One sentence. This is Soviet-level censorship, that's all it takes. The tweet hits like a missile, 200 million followers, every major outlet watching. Musk calls Britain a police state. He posts screenshots of arrests, court filings, quotes from official police pages. It's not rumour, it's receipts. The kind of proof journalists used to dig for, now served live from his account. Within 24 hours, British ministers start panicking. They accuse Musk of spreading lies, but it's already too late. Every time they speak, another clip goes viral, showing them defending arrests over tweets. The UK police even discuss possible extradition of Musk for interference. Think about that. The same police who ignored abuse scandals for decades are now trying to arrest the richest man in the world because he posted. They underestimated how fast digital fire spreads. Musk doesn't back down. He ramps up. Every time a citizen is jailed for speech, it's on his timeline within minutes. Screenshots, quotes, photos, locations. He amplifies voices the government's been trying to bury. Suddenly, it's not just a British issue, it's global. CNN, Fox, DW, every outlet is covering the Musk versus Britain war. Downing Street is in chaos. The Home Office holds emergency meetings. You can almost hear the bureaucrats arguing over whether to ignore him or beg him to stop. And this is where the story shifts from free speech to something far darker, because Musk does his homework. He starts connecting the government's obsession with censorship to what they've been trying to hide for decades. Specifically, the one stain on modern British politics that nobody in Westminster once mentioned, the grooming gang scandals. From Rotherham to Oxford to Telford, thousands of girls, some as young as 11, were systematically abused, trafficked and silenced. Over 1,400 victims in one town. Nationwide estimates put it near 100,000. For years, police and social workers knew. They had the files. They had the names. They did nothing. The official excuse? They didn't want to appear discriminatory. Imagine that. Children sacrificed to political correctness. And here's the part Musk highlights that hits like a hammer. Between 2008 and 2013, the man now running the country, Keir Starmer, was the Director of Public Prosecutions. He was the one in charge of deciding which cases move forward. During those years, internal memos told police to avoid investigating sensitive communities. Some reports were shelved, victims labelled unreliable. The government called them inconsistent. Musk calls it what it was, cowardice. Then he drops the post that detonates the narrative completely. Starmer was complicit in the worst mass crime in modern British history. He chose politics over children. 20 words. That's it. And suddenly, the cover breaks. Old journalists resurface stories that had been buried. Victims' families go on air again. Whistleblowers leak old memos. The system's protective wall starts to collapse. Starmer tries to spin it. He calls it foreign interference. That backfires instantly. Because now the conversation isn't about Musk meddling in politics, it's about why Britain ignored thousands of children while jailing people for tweets. Musk doesn't just hit back, he starts publishing evidence. Official reports, witness statements, prosecution records, it's all public now. The government can't hide behind jargon or press statements. The facts are digital, permanent, and visible to hundreds of millions. You can feel the panic building inside Westminster. This isn't just a billionaire criticizing them. It's a one-man press revolution. Traditional media can't contain it because the story doesn't need their permission anymore. Every tweet, every repost, every clip adds pressure. And now, the narrative has flipped completely. The same government that claims to fight disinformation is exposed as the one silencing truth. Starmer's old decisions are back in headlines. His years as prosecutor are being dissected line by line. People are asking how many cases were dropped, how many children were dismissed as unreliable, how many police officers looked away. And Musk keeps posting, each one more surgical than the last. No fluff, no dramatics, just links, files, and timestamps. By now, you can see how the game has changed. Musk isn't just commenting, he's controlling the story. Every attempt by Labour to discredit him fails because his platform is bigger than their media. He's the broadcast network now. Governments used to win by owning the narrative. In 2025, the narrative lives on his feed. Starmer's silence only makes it worse. His allies stop defending the arrests. Cabinet members start dodging interviews. The more they retreat, the louder Musk becomes. This isn't about tweets anymore, it's about accountability. The kind of accountability that can't be censored, can't be edited, can't be delayed until after elections. By the end of that week, Britain's political machine looks cornered. Musk's posts are trending worldwide, human rights lawyers are weighing in, and Starmer's approval begins to slide. You can sense that what started as outrage over a tragedy has turned into something bigger, the public realizing that maybe the system isn't protecting them anymore. Because when an ordinary grandmother faces prison for sharing a post, and a prime minister who once ignored mass abuse now leads the crackdown on speech, people connect the dots. And the one man forcing that connection into daylight isn't a journalist, isn't a politician, it's Elon Musk, using nothing but Wi-Fi and truth. Starmer's office calls it foreign interference. Musk calls it exposure. Within hours, the argument collapses. Every time the government accuses him of lying, he replies with documents, official reports, prosecution memos, archived court data. No spin, no commentary, just receipts. It's a new kind of political war, one fought entirely online. And the government is losing badly. Inside Downing Street, they try damage control. Anonymous officials leak to the press that Musk has hidden motives. Newspapers run headlines claiming he's trying to influence British politics. They think that will slow him down. Instead, it fuels him. Musk starts boosting voices the establishment tried to silence. Reform UK, Nigel Farage, whistleblowers from within the police. Each one amplified to millions of followers overnight. The opposition sees an opening. Reform UK surges in online mentions and poll numbers. Musk shares clips of Farage's speeches about censorship and corruption. Within days, Reform's fundraising jumps. It's the kind of exposure no campaign could buy. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper that Musk's allies are planning a coordinated digital push before the next election. Not endorsements, but precision pressure. Every scandal resurfaced, every injustice reposted, and it works. Labour MPs start cracking on air. Journalists stop defending arrests. Even long-time Starmer supporters begin asking whether the government's censorship drive has gone too far. The balance of power starts shifting, not through Parliament, not through laws, but through information. Then comes December 2024, the tweet that shakes the monarchy itself. Musk posts, "Sometimes democracy needs a reset," followed by a suggestion that King Charles dissolve Parliament and call new elections. No one even remembers the last time someone publicly asked that. The last royal dissolution against government wishes was in 1834. The tweet explodes. Within hours, #dissolve Parliament is trending across every platform. Legal experts flood the airwaves trying to explain the constitutional implications. The government scrambles to respond. They accuse Musk of destabilizing Britain, but the damage is done. The idea is out there. The richest man in the world just questioned whether Britain's government still deserves its mandate. And here's the part that really rattles Westminster. Polls start shifting again. Reform UK climbs, Labour collapses into the 20s, Starmer's ministers begin avoiding interviews. The phrase constitutional crisis makes front pages in London, New York and Berlin. The police unions and civil service start leaking, quietly suggesting they're uncomfortable with the arrests. It's rare to see internal rebellion, but now it's public. Musk keeps posting screenshots of government briefings, clips of British citizens explaining how their homes were raided over social media comments. The narrative is unstoppable. At this point, even the monarchy is being dragged into the conversation. Commentators speculate about whether King Charles could legally dissolve Parliament without a vote of confidence. Ordinary people are suddenly talking about 18th century constitutional law on X Spaces. That's how deep Musk's influence runs. He's turned legal theory into trending content. Starmer's allies try one last counterattack. They accuse Musk of racism, of targeting Britain's justice system unfairly. Musk doesn't even respond with words. He replies with images, court data showing lenient sentences for violent offenders, contrasted with harsher sentences for speech crimes. The contrast speaks louder than any rebuttal. From that point on, Musk doesn't need to argue. The facts argue for him. Government statements sound hollow because every word they say is contradicted online within minutes. Old systems can't keep up with real-time exposure. The result? Complete narrative collapse. January 2025 arrives and Labour is imploding. Internal memos leak, showing panic meetings in Downing Street. Pollsters warn that if elections were held today, Starmer would lose by historic margins. Cabinet ministers start resigning quietly, citing personal reasons. Everyone knows what that means. Meanwhile, Musk keeps the pressure steady. He doesn't gloat, doesn't celebrate, he just posts the next document, the next case file, the next victim statement, and every post adds more cracks to the government's facade. The digital world has outgrown political spin. By mid-January, analysts openly say what nobody dared 2 months ago: the government might not survive the year. The phrase Musk effect becomes shorthand for what happens when digital power collides with old institutions. World leaders from Brussels to Washington start asking the same question. If Musk can bring Britain's government to its knees, who's next? At this point, even some Labour voters admit he's not wrong. It's uncomfortable, but undeniable. The public starts referring to Musk as the unofficial opposition. That phrase trends for a week straight. By late January, every world leader understands the new rule of power. Whoever controls the digital narrative controls everything. Britain's Prime Minister is holding office, but barely. Musk doesn't need to be in government to govern influence. He already has it. For the first time in modern history, a private citizen has outpowered a state. The government that once arrested people for words now fears words more than anything. And it all started with one tweet. History just changed. The billionaire didn't just challenge the system, he rewrote how it works. Subscribe, drop a like, and tell me, who really runs the modern world, the politicians or the platforms?